And now we're going to get to the fourth step, which is what you're going to take with you out into your real life. And that's intention setting journaling. And so what that is when you take some of these things that you came up with in your ideal life, in your ideal journaling, ping them off of your values embodiment, use all of this to create goals, and not just tangible goals, but goals of feeling. And those are the ones I want you to focus on. Is that what was it that you were feeling when those things happened? Because what's so cool and so powerful is that you can probably tap into feeling those things now. There are absolutely parts of your day where you are experiencing the feelings that achieving those goals that you had and being and experiencing that ideal life are happening for you now. And so that's what I want you to do is list out one of those feelings, maybe at the beginning of the day. And then at the end of the day, in your journal, write down how you experience that. Now, it's not going to feel intuitive at the beginning. It might take some creative reframing. And so reframing might be where, like, let's say you have a goal of your kiddo following directions the first time, and that isn't happening. That's like a 0% thing happening. And you notice that your kiddo follows directions, maybe on the third time, or maybe that what is going to make that feel for you. What does it feel like when your kiddo follows directions? And maybe you feel that feeling in another spot, right? And we can take the focus off the thing and find it somewhere else. And so that way we can start cultivating, noticing, giving weight to, purposefully, intentionally, mindfully, give more space for that thing that you want to feel, and write it down as evidence. And as we write it down, because when you write things down, not only can you review it and create like this file to look at later, you're also able to create new neural pathways in your brain, so that as you get started, maybe the first 2 or 3 days, this feels uncomfortable and you feel like you're really pulling at straws to make it happen. But then on the 4th or 5th day, you start noticing that it's happening on its own, and you start seeing examples in your environment of what you want to be feeling. And maybe you even reframe one in the moment on like day 7, where you're experiencing something that feels yucky. You notice the thoughts because you've got practice with your journaling, observing how you're thinking and separating from that judgment portion or the I am feeling. And you can see a way where you can invite in the feeling that you want to have, even in a spot where you didn't notice it before. And that is changing your reality. That is shifting your mindset and your perspective to be looking for that which you desire instead of that which you lack. And it shifts everything. It makes it so that I've just got goosebumps even just saying that. This is one of my favorite practices. It makes it so that in an environment where you were not seeing it, your subtle body language reinforces what you want to see in your gestures, in your vocabulary choices, in your facial expressions, and that cues the people around you, including your family, including your little ones. And it sets you up to find that which you want to see, because your brain is now looking for that. It's looking for what you want instead of what you don't have. I'm guessing we've all experienced where you notice something that you don't have and you see more of it. You see more examples of it. The same thing is with a classic psychology one of like the yellow Jeep or whatever. If I tell you about yellow Jeeps right now, you're probably, and you take it and you think about it like, oh, yellow Jeeps are dope. You're probably going to see more yellow Jeeps just because you're attending to yellow Jeeps, whereas before they could have just continued to drive past. The same thing is going to happen with that feeling that you want. We just have to start creating the habit, and that's what intention setting journaling is. So again, start at the beginning of the day, choose the feeling that is informed by all of those activities that we just did. And at the end of the day, find an example, no matter how hard it takes it might be really challenging the first day, but it does get easier. No matter how long, no matter how much effort, find a way that you felt that feeling today. And then find it again and again and again. And I would encourage you to try this intention setting journaling for 21 days. And then you're going to be seeing that feeling and you're going to be finding new opportunities to create it. And then you're going to be switching the way that you live your life. And that is going to have wide impact. I know that we're starting to run low on time here, but it's going to have an impact because it's going to help you create that balance. If it feels uncomfortable, right? We need to go back to our why, go back to that ideal life, go back to those values, go back to your goals, because this hard work that you're doing, experiencing the discomfort of reframing your habit forming brain is worth it. And it won't last for forever, right? The discomfort won't last for forever because you're building a new habit. Just like if you were exercising, like the discomfort doesn't last for forever. You get to a new stamina point, and the same thing happens with your habits. So why, right? At the very beginning, we talked about when you build balance, you're going to not only help your own mental state, but you're going to show up differently in ABA therapy. You're going to show up differently in the programs for your kiddo, and you're going to model what's an appropriate balance for your own children in the future. And that's powerful. The data says it's powerful. And when you do those things, it helps your kiddos' therapeutic outcomes because you're showing up differently. So again, I'm going to go ahead and encourage you guys to do that for 21 days. Just get started with the practice. You can do it 100 times over with any feeling. You can extrapolate it out past parenting as well to any of those other parts of life. Whatever feels right for you probably is, but it's important to get you there because it's going to feel good. And it's not just for you. Sometimes us parents have a hard time making decisions for us, just for us, and we feel that selfishness. This is worth it because it's not just for you if that's a thing for you. But if that's not a thing for you, this is a really good strategy anyway. And I hope that you get the opportunity to try this out. Again, that's just kind of chapter 1 of my book. And then there's 7 days in that book. So I hope that you get the opportunity to check that out, as well as the offerings that YouLearner has for you and your family. I don't know if we can take questions on this platform, but my Instagram handle is Mindfully Mallory, and you're welcome to find me there and DM me with any questions. I'd be happy to be available for that. So that concludes my presentation for today.